whatever kind of landing this is going to bring with it lower inflation and interest rates. And if deflation is the risk, that actually accrues to the benefit of stocks that do well during deflationary times. And that tends to be technology. Technologically enabled innovation is deflationary.
Cathie Wood faced a lot of criticism in the past for asserting that the economy was on its way to a deflationary phase due to what she deemed as the Fed's reckless behavior of rapidly increasing interest rates. She faced even more backlash when it seemed that she wanted to withdraw her investments, and wrote an open letter to the Fed asking for an explanation for their rate hikes. She presented data to support her argument that the decision should not be unanimous, implying that her fund's mediocre performance was due to the economic climate. However, her fortunes seem to be changing as her ARKK flagship fund has gained 27% year-to-date, and Bitcoin has risen by 83% year-to-date. In her latest update, Cathie stated that she anticipates more damage to come in various areas, and the breaking point in the market was the regional banks. To the surprise of some, but not her, the move towards technology as a safe haven has begun. Let's hear what Cathie has to say.
Now we look elsewhere to see, we look at credit default swaps. Yes, they've come in. They peaked in late September at 113 basis point. That compares to 150 during the depths of COVID, when the bets on bankruptcies were quite significant. And today we're down to 75, but still elevated from the 50 to 60 range where we were pre-COVID. High yield spreads, so in the high yield space, these are lower quality companies, more risky. In order to attract capital, they have to pay higher interest rates. And so today we have been trading in the 5 to 6% range, really since mid last year. Pre-COVID, that did drop to 4.4. So people were feeling a little bit better about everything. Nothing had broken, and then something broke. And we went back into that 5 to 6% range, which is higher than we were pre-COVID in the 3 to 4% range. Commodities are all still, many of them are down from their peaks. Lumber down 76%. DRAM prices in the semiconductor space down 66%. Oil down 34%, iron ore down 34%, copper down 16%, silver down 11%, gold down 1% from their peaks. And all of them, except for gold, are down on a year-over-year basis. So again, in the pipeline, we've got deflation. Currencies, more signals there. Just to give you a sense of how wild the dollar has been, on January 8th of 21, the dollar was at 89. DXY is the trade-weighted dollar. So it's the dollar measured against other currencies according to trade weights, are trading with them. It went up 29% to September 30th of last year, 29%. And interestingly, what happened soon thereafter, that was the peak, and soon thereafter, the bond yield peaked. And, it's interesting to make these connections. Now, the bond has dropped, the dollar, DXY, has dropped 13% since September 30th, but is flat on a year-over-year basis. So what that tells me is that the risks associated with the dollar going up 29% were highly deflationary. We're hurting the rest of the world, and the dollar going down has given them some relief. I think the most remarkable of all the indicators that we monitor was Bitcoin during the crisis. Now, it typically acts like a risk off. It tends to do poorly during risk-off periods. This time it did the opposite. From March 10th, when it bottomed at 19,500, it has soared 55% to $30,270. Ether has gone up 51% from 1,370 to 2,076. So these previously volatile, risk-on metrics are acting like flight to safety. Well, we think this is a theme that you should be watching out for. We think a lot of innovations out there are going to be the flight to safety. Why? Because they're going to disrupt the traditional world order. What are Bitcoin and Ether doing? They are, by the very fact that they're being considered flight to safety like gold, that's really interesting and suggests much broader based adoption and acceptance than I think most people understand. And given the governments railing against crypto and really putting pressure in all kinds of regulatory ways on it, we do believe this is going to become an election issue. What's been interesting about this flight to safety is the mega cap tech stocks have been beneficiaries. And we believe that that's a bit of a head fake, and it will not be sustained. And in fact, the FANGs, the former disruptors, are being disrupted more and more. We know that TikTok has taken a lot of consumer mind share from Facebook and Netflix and other social networks. We know that social commerce is taking share from Amazon, which isn't a social media site. And we know that ChatGPT with plugins is, we think it's a big problem for Google and its search franchise, and even for Apple with plugins. We may not have to go to any app. ChatGPT might just take us straight to OpenTable. And that way, Apple won't get its 15 to 30% tax. So we're sure they'll all pivot. We know Apple has a lot of fintech and healthcare and everything. But, it's apps. That was recurring revenue. Apps and other services were recurring revenues as opposed to the hardware, which is not recurring revenue, at least not annual recurring revenue. So we would say that there is a flight to safety, certainly led by crypto assets. And it is telling us that the world is transforming and will continue to transform. You cannot stop innovation. In fact, the electorate will make sure of it. I hearken back to the early days of Uber, and I was sure, I was working in New York at the time, and I was sure there's no way Uber would get through the New York Taxi Commission. Well, it blew right through it because the consumer wanted it. It made the consumer's life easier, more convenient. And we think that's true with all of the innovation that's evolving today. The multi-omic sequencing technology it's unlocking the secrets to life and death and to extending life and curing disease. Robotics, autonomous mobility is going to be here, we think, before anyone believes, now that Elon Musk has prepared us for so many years. Now that no one believes him, is going to happen. That's what usually happens with innovation. It happens slowly until all of a sudden it takes off. Energy storage, we're already seeing that with electric vehicles. I think the auto industry is pretty stunned at how quickly it has had to pivot. Artificial intelligence, training costs dropping 70% per year. Had GPT been 3, from which ChatGPT, which has captured the imagination of the consumer and really given innovation a breath of fresh air in terms of the market recognizing that, hey, something's going on here. Had it been developed in 2015, it would have cost $800 million to develop that model. In 2020, which is when it was developed, it cost $4.5 to $5 million. Today, $450,000. And in 2030, $300. That's how quickly the world's changing. And AI is the biggest catalyst to all of these other innovations. And we believe will insinuate itself into those innovations in a profound way, even with blockchain technology in ways that we cannot even imagine now. So we're pretty excited about innovation. This time is so different from the tech and telecom bubble. The tech and telecom bubble is when the seeds were planted for everything that's happening now. In fact, the seeds were planted from 1980, the PC, to the internet. And it has taken 25, 30, 35 years of germination. But now the seeds are coming to life. And these are astonishing innovation platforms. And we do believe they will become the flight to safety as investors get away from the benchmarks, which really are all about past successes, and starts focusing on the future. After all, what is investing but about the future?
To access the complete interview, click on the link provided in the description. What is your opinion on Cathie's views? Do you anticipate a more substantial shift towards cryptocurrency as a safe investment option? Share your thoughts in the comments section. If you found the content useful. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.